Grasslands are greatly underappreciated. These naturally treeless ecosystems are really important, and they're home to some amazing creatures. Today, I'm with the crew from the Grassland Earless Dragon Alliance, who are monitoring one of Australia's rarest reptiles on behalf of the Saving Our Species program. We're looking for the Monaro Grassland Earless Dragon. We monitor for this species by providing artificial habitat in the form of tiles and polypipe holes that imitate the rocks and spider holes they naturally use for shelter. The dragons seek these out, which then makes them easier for us to find and check up on. The day is off to a great start, with a dragon on the first transect.
We look at their back pattern. The dragons have unique sort of arrangements of blotches along their backs, different irregular shapes. Some are paired evenly, some are, alternate. And we take a photo of their back, and then every time we catch a new dragon, we compare it to all the other dragons that have been caught on that line or in that vicinity, and we see if they match or not.
This dragon is one we know, and it was named after Ryan, who's with us today.
It is him.
We can tell this little guy is a male by the presence of impressive yellow markings on his throat. Around a year ago, this site was really overgrown, which makes it hard for the dragons to move through their habitat, find prey, and bask in the sun. Since then, Saving Our Species, local land services, the Grassland Earless Dragon Alliance, and local volunteers have coordinated grazing and burning of the habitat to increase structural diversity beneficial to the dragons and co-occurring species they rely on. This ongoing monitoring lets us know if all this is doing wonders for the dragons. We move on to the next site, and it's here we find something or someone truly special.
Oh, we got a dragon.
Leon?
Yeah!
Really?
It might be Leon.
Who's Leon?
The oldest dragon. He's usually down that end. Let me just confirm if I get too carried away, but that's great. He's lived.
That's sick.
So this is a very special individual grassland earless dragon. His name is Leon. We first caught him in 2019 as an adult. So the great benefit of this long-term study is that we get longevity data. We know now that he's at least 5 years old. And this is incredible for a species that was assumed to only live for 1 year. We've been catching Leon every year over the last 5 years, basically from as far as that star picket to this spider tube here is the extent of his range. So this has been his home his entire life, and he has survived drought. He's survived back-to-back La Nina seasons, a flux in the vegetation from too much and too little, and yet he's hanging on and persevering. He's a beacon of hope, this little dude, because, we've been worried about this ongoing decline of the species, but he's proving that, he can survive despite the difficult conditions. So if he can do it, then hopefully lots of other individuals across the Monaro also can.
We cap the day off with 2 more dragons, a super feisty male who was also a new individual. We quickly photographed his back patterns, took some measurements, and released him back to his happy place. And last was a female. You can see she lacks the extensive yellow scales on her throat that the males have.